In today's video, Captain Jack Sparrow came to visit, and I have two images that we did, and I want to show you exactly how I did it. Hi, welcome to Papa's Workshop. Over the last several videos, I've been working with the Norton white tile method to be able to engrave the tiles and show you the different settings. I've also been working just with the painted tiles with the 2 colors and 3 colors to be able to show the difference. Once you have that, you can pretty much do any type of tile design that you want. And my most recent one is Captain Jack Sparrow. And this turned out really nice using the settings that we had learned in the previous video. So today I'm just going to go through very quickly and show you just how easy it is to set it up and start engraving. I just typed in the free adult color pages for Captain Jack Sparrow. Got all different types, but I found one that I especially liked, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this one into the LightBurn software. So I'm just going to right click and copy the image and bring it directly in. Then I'll open up LightBurn, then I'll right click again and paste the image in. And let's get it a little bit bigger so that you can see it. I went ahead and created this square. Now this is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 because that's the size that we have. Then I want to slide it over here and I can get an idea on what I can make happen. And I think that actually looks pretty good. Now you can see all the rest of this around, and I'm not going to be able to get all of that into the picture. So I'm just going to highlight everything and come up here to the tools menu, and I'm going to come down and apply the mask. And that cuts off this. So this is the only thing that is actually going to burn on the tile. Now, I do want to highlight the image itself, and we're going to take a look at the tools menu again, and we're going to look at adjusting of the image. And I need to zoom in because this is the original and this is how it's going to look. And let me lighten this up a little bit. Now these are all the settings that you can adjust here at the bottom, and whether it's the contrast, the brightness, whatever you need to be able to do. And you can select the type of style that you want, whether it's newspaper, the ditter, and so forth. So these are the ones that just take practice and experience to be able to adjust to get it to look the way that you want it. You also have the choice to be able to make it where it's a reverse image or the regular image. Now in this case I chose to go ahead and do the regular image. Now I will say this also, my settings are not going to be the same for yours. You're going to need to be able to do the same exact thing and do some tests to see what works best. And you work with these settings until you get the image the way that you want it. And I actually think that is going to do quite nicely. So we're going to go with this. So from this point, I can go ahead and get the machine set up and to be able to engrave it. I want to come down to the library, not the art library. And I want to come down to the Norton white tile. We'll open that up. And we'll open this up. And if you look, I have the etching right here, but I don't have the setting for the paint. I actually forgot to save it, so I'm going to have to do that. Over here, I do want to adjust the settings to the 50 inches per minute with 30% power. Down below, all the other settings were already done when we selected the adjust image. So all I need to really do at this point is just go ahead and hit OK, and we're ready to start the engrave. I know a lot of people out there will take every color under the sun and do a test grid like this, but it's really not necessary. Once you have the base coat down of the different colors and then you put the black on top, if you use that same method every single time when you're spray painting, the results basically are going to be the same. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and waste a lot of tile. So in this case, doing this grid, I learned at 50 inches per minute and around 20 to 30 gave me the best results. Now granted, if I want it a little bit darker, I can go down into the less power. And if I want it to go a little bit higher power, I can do that. But the fact is, once you have one tile with one color and you paint the other tiles, you're going to get the similar results. That's exactly what I did when I engraved this one and showed everybody how to do it. This turned out absolutely fantastic. Now, using the same exact technique, I went and downloaded an image from the Google search on the adult coloring pages, and I found Captain Jack Sparrow hiding in among all of the different ones, and I decided to engrave him using the same exact settings, and he came out absolutely amazing. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't make it complicated. You'll learn as you go along to be able to adjust the settings a little bit one way or a little bit another to be able to get the desired results. The next thing that I want to be able to do is show you a comparison with the color tiles, such as engraving right now, with the gold underneath, black on the top, with the actual Norton white tile method. Now right now I went ahead and painted a tile with the white paint, and it's in the process of drying. Now normally what I do is let the paint dry actually for 24 hours so it's completely dry. But in this case I want to be able to get this video finished and published so that you guys can have it. So I'm going to let this white paint dry for approximately 2 hours and then go ahead and do the engraving. Now this is going to accomplish a couple of things, and you know I like to be able to experiment. So I want to see just how it does with the paint after 2 hours of drying time. Now it's either going to work great or it's not. My thoughts, based on what I have done in the past, it is going to engrave just fine. The problem actually may be when I wash it with the lacquer thinner, it may take the image off. We'll see. I know if some of you have expressed that being a problem, this may be the cause. So looking at this image, I think it turned out quite nice. I'm very happy with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and spray the clear coat on it. Now for the second tile, with the Norton white tile method, I decided to go ahead and use the full image. So how did I get to this point? Well, it was pretty much exactly the same way. So let me go through the steps. I went back to a Google search and I copied the image. So it's right click, copies image, and then I just brought it directly into the LightBurn. And hit paste, again right click and hit paste, and there's the image. So let me back out here so that you can actually see it, and I'm going to get it over from being on top of the first one. At this point, let's go up to the Tools menu. In the Tools menu, it's going to drop down and I'm going to do the Trace Image. Look at the image carefully. And this one looks real good, so I'm not going to make any changes. Even if I zoom in, all of the detail is there, so I'm real happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out, and then I'm just going to come down and hit OK. So now the Trace Image is done. So I can grab it, slide it over, and you can see that I no longer need this one. I'll just cut it and we'll get rid of that. Now this is actually on the toolpath layer, so I need to click on it and we're going to put it on the 00 layer. Now that brings this image up to this other image, so you know exactly how I got to this point. The other thing I want to show you is going over here. I have in the library the 2-color painted tile. How did I do that? Well, it's really very simple. I just come down to the etch fill and click on duplicate. When you hit duplicate, all you need to do is just change your name, put in the new settings, and hit save. And now you have your second one exactly the way you need to do it. So it's really very, very easy to be able to change and add the different settings to your library. And now with it highlighted, I can go ahead and click on it, add it to the layer, and you can see it change. This is 50 inches per minute with 20% power. If I wanted to switch and do the etch fill, I'll just simply highlight that. Then I can assign that to the layer, and you can see it instantly changes to the 20 inches per minute with the 60% power. So that's just how easy it is to be able to do it, and that way you'll never forget the settings that you have used to be successful with it. The only other thing that I've done is I made my square, and this is a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. This is going to allow me to be able to make sure that the tile is centered with the image on it, and I'll be able to switch this over from the toolpath over to my layer 29 to be able to frame it. This tile's been drying now for about 2 hours. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And I'm going to go ahead and run my frame and run that job. Let's take a look and see how that does. So that's coming right across the edge. That's actually looking really good. And this is how I frame everything now. It gives me the opportunity to make any adjustments that I want. And this is a real easy way to be able to do it. And I have to give credit to the Louisiana Hobby Guy for being able to do a video showing this technique. And this was a real eye-opener. I wish I'd have thought of it, but I have to give credit to him. So it's coming back down now the back side. I'm only doing one pass. I have found that one pass and sometimes 2 passes is all that's necessary to be able to get it exactly where you need to have it. At this point, all I need to do is turn off this layer, turn this one back on so you can see that, and I'm actually ready to engrave. And this has the settings that I want, and everything is on. This is all off, so I'm ready to go ahead and hit start. Normally I let the paint dry for 24 hours, but in this case we're going to just see what happens with about a 2-hour drying time. I think the image will actually engrave really nice. The only concern that I have is that when I use the lacquer thinner to be able to clean off all of the white paint, it may actually remove some of the image itself. So we'll have to see. Again, it's all about the experimenting and testing different things out. So far, this is an amazing burn. It looks absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of detail that's coming through, and I'm absolutely loving it. I hope when I put the lacquer thin on it to clean off the paint, the image is still there. A side-by-side comparison shows that each of these tiles look absolutely fantastic with lots of detail. Now, if you haven't tried this method, I certainly encourage you to do, and it will take a little bit of experimenting to be able to get the image to be able to look really good. But this is absolutely amazing. I'm very pleased with how this turned out on each of these 2 tiles. Now the real test is to see, with this paint only having dried for 2 hours, is this image just going to disappear? And you can see actually it's going to be just fine. So after just a couple of minutes with the paper towel and the lacquer thinner, this tile has all of the white paint cleaned off of it, and it looks amazing. So I'm very impressed the fact that I didn't wash the image away. Now I went ahead and got a clean paper towel, and I want to be able to get the last of the paint residue off of this, and it's going to make this image actually stand out even better, because it's easy to be able to get just a little bit of that paint into those dark black lines and make it look a little faded, and you really don't want that. Now this is completed, and it's ready to be able to do anything that you want. You do not need any other finish to this type of process. This is permanent. It will not scratch off, and as you can see, it won't wash off. Thank you for watching today. I had a lot of fun, and I'm glad that Captain Jack Sparrow came to visit. It was fun being able to do the 2 engravings on how to be able to do it and show you some of the tips and tricks along the way. And if you found this video useful, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And while you're there, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button right down there so that you'll be notified on the next video that I do. And don't forget, hit that bell notification too. Now in the next video, what I want to be able to do is explore the canvas engraving. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and you're not going to want to miss out. So don't forget, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now if you haven't done so already. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you guys in the next video. Bye-bye now.